What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today we have a Steeldive. Yep, I know I've been teasing this for a while, but finally here. This I picked up from eBay, but obviously you can get it from AliExpress and get it for a better price than on eBay. I only bought it off eBay because I wanted it in the next couple of days rather than waiting, like a few weeks or a month from AliExpress. But obviously AliExpress will give you much better deals than you'd get off of eBay. So what we're going to do today is do the traditional review, all the good stuff, any bad stuff, and what it's been like since I've had it in, well. So anyway, let's start off with the dimensions. So this one measures in at 44 millimeters, 47.8 including that crown, 46.4 lug to lug, so really nice and compact. Definitely that Seiko magic. 6.1 millimeter crown, which is screw down, but more on that later on. Standard 20mm lug width, and it's 13.6 millimeters thick. 160 gram though, which is quite surprising. That is way heavier than what I expected. Keep in mind though, that mine does have an upgraded milled clasp, which does not come as standard. Standard, it comes with a simple pressed, but the milled ones aren't that much more. If you're interested, I'll pop one in the description that I always pick up for myself whenever I do a milled clasp upgrade. So we have a ceramic insert, 120 click unidirectional bezel, but more on that in a minute. Sapphire crystal, which is always nice to see. 316L case and bracelet, 200 meters of water resistance, and with this one you do actually get an extra strap, which is always nice and definitely adds to the value of this watch. So let's do a dive, and we'll actually start off with the bezel first. So you can see it's actually a little bit similar to the San Martin that I reviewed a while back. Obviously this one is a fully loomed bezel though, which the San Martin isn't. So let's give this action a whirl. Very, very satisfying. Really nice sound as well. It doesn't sound horrible or cheap. Good defined clicks, really rock solid, and all lines up absolutely perfectly. So brilliantly done. So very nice contrast as well between all the printing and the green. So let's move in a little bit, and you can see we have a sloped green rehaut. Now I did have this problem with the Tandorio as well. I wish they'd have done stainless steel because the green on green on green just a little bit much, and I think a nice brushed rehaut would have just separated it quite nicely and just look a bit more premium. Onto that dial, and you can see we have a white printed minute track, really nice and contrasted against that sunburst green. Indice wise, we are all applied. Very nice. We have, I called it a little book. I don't really know what the specific name for it is, but it looks like a little open book. And then we have square indices just about all the way around. We have larger ones at the 6 and 9 o'clock, and then we have a little bordered date window at the 3. You guys know how I feel about date windows, especially at the 3 o'clock, so I'm not really going to talk about that much. You can decide whether you like it on this watch or if you don't. So let's take a look at that dial a little bit more, and you can see it is a nice sunburst green. I actually do prefer the shade of green used on the Steeldive over the Tandorio. I just think it's a little bit darker and a little bit nicer. Under the 12, Steeldive logo and branding. And then above the 6 we have automatic, water and 200 meter resist. So the red punches quite nicely against that green and does actually match the little sort of traffic light style seconds hand. So speaking of the hands, you can see we have a nice handset, definitely Willard style, loom filled, and a good finishing to them, really quite impressive for the price point. Second hand, like I said, is that sort of traffic light style, really cool, and I just like how there's a little tiny pop of red which just breaks up all the green. So let's take a look at the side profile. You can see there's not really much going on. We have very nice polishing, and it's not streaky or horrible looking at all. It's actually done to a pretty decent standard. Coin edge bezel you can also see as well. Really nice grip on that bezel as you saw earlier. Good quality brushing, definitely not the best I've ever seen, but it's pretty decent on the top of the case. And a pretty nice line as well between the brushing and polishing. To this side, again, we've got that high polish finish, those big beefy crown guards, and of course that signed screw down crown. Lastly for the case, we're going to talk case backing. You can see it's got a mix of finishes, so we've got a sort of bead blasted with the Steeldive logo, high polish ring with the specifications, and it is screwed down. That is pretty much a lot. I mean, it's pretty nicely done, and you know, something I was not expecting to be as good for the price point. So now let's talk movement, and as you guys know by now, this is using a Seiko NH35. So we all know the specs: 21,600, hacking, hand winding, auto winding as well, 41 hour reserve, and -20 to +40 per day. Reliable, rock solid, and there's nothing really much more to be said about it. So how does this one actually feel in action? Well, do you know what? It feels really good. So pop it out twice, all the way. You can see that second hand stops, and you can adjust the time. And do you know what? This is one of the most solid feeling crown and stem arrangements I've had on a watch at this price point. It feels really well planted, plenty of grip on that crown as well. And the crown guards don't get in the way either, which is always nice. It definitely doesn't, you know, hamper or spoil usability. So then obviously one push in, and then you can do your date as well. Quick set date and all that good stuff. But we're not really going to waffle on about a movement which we've all seen, you know, a million times already. So this one is working fine, no problem whatsoever. So yeah, let's move on to the bracelet. So this is the bracelet that comes on the watch as standard. Do have a little bit of an issue with mine though. You can see we do have a bit of a fitment issue, bit of a wobble going on there. And same again at that side. Not the best, almost snug fitting, but it is what it is. Brushed finish, female end links, and they are solid as well. Only push pins holding it together, brushed all throughout on the top. The sides on mine are brushed, and there is one reason for that. Mine was quite badly scratched up and damaged, a few deep gouges in them. So I've repaired that and brushed it because I just couldn't get that original high polish finish back to the way it looked on just a few of the links. So I have brushed it, and I actually think it looks a little bit better for it. But yours, when you do buy these new, will be high polished at the sides. So this clasp, completely ignore it because it's not the original one. It is milled and upgraded, so just ignore that. You do get a pressed one as standard. It's got the same level of micro adjust. It's about the same size and the same style, but it's just not as nice. So yeah, bracelet is not bad. Good articulation, good flow. Just a little bit of an issue with the fitment. So now let's pop this on wrist and show you what it wears like. So here it is on my 6-inch wrist, and as I said with the Tandorio, these watches actually wear a lot better than what you think. So like I said, I only have a very slim wrist, and I think I can about pull one of these off. I mean, if you've got a 6.5-inch wrist and any wrist bigger than mine, I'd say you'd be absolutely fine with these, and that is that Seiko magic. They make big watches wear small. And obviously Steeldive have, you know, replicated that to a very good standard. So yeah, fitment wise, you know, nice thing, no lug overhang. And you know what? It is a really comfortable watch. Yes, it is a little bit heavy, but because the case is so big, it's not sort of really dense and heavy in one spot. It doesn't really wear top heavy either, which is quite nice. But yeah, it's a comfortable wearing watch. Can't really say that it isn't. So this one I have noticed though, I think it's because of the clasp is ever so slightly different on this one than the standard one. It just wears a smidge big, so I do get a little bit of movement on my wrist. But obviously, you know, I could, or in fact I can't, I'm on the last micro adjust, so I can't really get it any sort of smaller than that. But obviously guys, if it doesn't, the bracelet doesn't fit you, you can always try the you know, replacement strap that it comes with, or you can always get an aftermarket one as well. You know, get it on a waffle strap, you know, something like that, a nice silicone one. You know, there's plenty out there, especially on AliExpress for pretty cheap. You know, maybe an FKM rubber one or something like that. You could always pop it on one of them, and it'd be really nice and comfortable. Conforms nice, sits nice on wrist. So no real complaints about comfort whatsoever. So guys, let's you know, wrap this review up. not a massively long one today. So what do we think of this watch? Well, currently, you can actually pick these up £67 on a silicone, or 70 with a silicone and a bracelet. It's kind of a no-brainer really. Pay that extra £3 and get the bracelet. Now hopefully you guys won't have that little wobble issue that I have with mine. Yeah, it's just one of those things, unfortunately. You guys know by now I am really unlucky. I always get watches that always have issues, and this one is no exception. But anyway, I'm used to it now. So is this actually worth its money? Do you know what? I would say hands down, yes it is. It's brilliant for the money. Really great quality loom, fantastic feeling bezel, one of the best bezel actions at this price point. In fact, probably the best bezel action at this price point I've ever found. Really nice solid feeling crown, good finishing throughout, good build quality, say for that, enough of that. Really nice and comfortable, good water resistance. It's just a really, really solid watch for the money. I mean, I can see why people rave about these watches so much and why so many people like them. They're affordable and great bang for the buck. And that is really much all that needs to be said. It is a great little watch for the money. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And of course, follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.